test, a little testaroo, testy-roo, test. Check in the audio. Do. If you're watching this after the fact, I'm sorry. Oh, it doesn't like that I'm opening Twitch on this iPad viewer. Doesn't like that at all. Testing the piano. For those that have just joined, I'm doing a music theory class, which may or may not interest you, but it's starting in about 15 minutes. You can come and chill out, come watch, totally up to you. Piano seems to be working. Let's see if I can get the iPad back. iPad's disappeared. iPad is back. Zoom is on. All right, and I'm gonna go cheekily back to the waiting screen. So see you then. All right. If you are joining on the Twitches or the YouTubes or whatever, say hi. Good to hear from you. If you're not, then I cannot see you and you don't exist, so that's okay too. Still a few minutes till we begin, but I thought I'd open it up. And if you're curious and you're watching and you'd like to know more, I do have an eye on the chat. And if there's something you'd like to know, please let me know. And I will try to divulge. You know, we can cover like rhythm, notes, keys, sight reading, stretching. Stretching is always good. Lost my iPad again. If you have any trouble hearing things or seeing things, let me know and I'll try and fix it, you know? Otherwise, if you're just here to come chill and just see what I'm up to, that's cool too. Doesn't faze me. Whatever you're into. Oh, it's a chilly morning in Melbourne, that's for sure. It is chilly. Chilly, 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 chilly. So just another few minutes. I've got a Zoom on at the same time. I'm going to see if anyone's going to come in. If you're watching this afterwards and you can join the Zoom in the future, I'd love that. If you join the Zoom, you can ask me questions and I can be a little bit more interactive. Otherwise, it's going to be more lecture style. It might be a little bit boring. But music theory being boring, I've never heard of that. Make sure the keyboard's working. And Thursdays tend to be a little bit more free-for-all. So if you have questions, you can ask me here. If you're a performer, a music theatre performer, you want to check your cuts or, I don't know, want me to play through something, or you have a sort of like a harmony thing you need to learn, I can easily sort of step through it in this kind of space. Otherwise, we don't know what's going to happen. And that's part of the fun. That's all part of the fun. So we wait, and we hope that people will join today. And if not, that's okay. That's all right. I can just find some sheet music and we'll do some analysis. And we'll get rid of my keyboard. And then I got meditation at 12, which I host on my Discord, which is just like, will be in an hour's time. And pretty much we just sit for 15 minutes. It's a good time. No one's joined the Zoom yet. This is highly disappointing. No. I'll get started in a few minutes. Might do some sight reading stuff. Bum, bum, bum. Jenny's afraid of water. Makeshift music stand. Always a good time. All right, I think we'll just make a start. We may not be graced with people's presence on the Zoom. Oh, yes, we just have someone that's just come in. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. I'm glad you came because I was like, oh, it's going to be a lonely morning.
Oh no, no one else is here. What?
It's just you. It's a private lesson.
Hooray!
What do you want to know?
Well, I don't know much.
That's all right.
Hang on, I'm just going to go where I'm not going to annoy Patrick.
Take your time.
I expected to be on mute, but no, I'm not going to be.
Or you can just say words to me and I can do something. The right camera. Yes, it's the right camera.
Yes. That's the camera I can see you on.
Yeah, it's the camera you can see. We've got two cameras set up going on.
Because you're on
All my
Twitch
fans
as well.
on Twitch, you know.
Oh yeah.
And YouTube. Some people watch it back on YouTube, which is really cool. So
That's awesome.
I do like it.
All right, I'm sitting up now. Oh, hang on, door, cats.
Good morning, by the way.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. The morning's been slow.
Yeah.
But I went for a jog this morning, so
Oh, lovely.
small game.
Good.
Small game.
Jogging, I can't do in winter. I just can't get motivated for it.
Yeah, I don't know what comes over me. Or you know, I was just like, you've been laying down for way too long. You need to move. Go.
Yeah.
I was just like, you need to leave the house. But it was very cold.
Yeah.
I've also got a lot of hair, so, you know.
Just use it as a protector on your face.
All right. Did you have any
Okay.
questions? I didn't see you last Monday, but that's okay.
Yeah,
can just
Monday.
shoot some
Yeah, because public holiday, so Patrick had the day off, so we don't get weekends at the moment because I work. So it was like we need a day together.
Yeah.
So that was nice. We went for a walk.
Oh, beautiful.
Very, very old-fashioned little date
lovely.
day.
Oh, beautiful. Are you with me? You did a good old freeze. Hello? Oh, no.
Oh, what was I going to say?
Oh,
Music theory. Oh no, Daniele, I can't see. Oh, there we go.
yeah.
Okay, sorry, I lost you
we
for a
here?
second there.
That's all right.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
Yeah, go shoot. What questions do you have?
So yeah, Thursday last, I think, was the last time I was on.
Yep.
And this isn't a question, this is more of a statement. But ever since then, because I've had like 4 days of work with private singing lessons, I've understood my music.
Nice.
Like my students have given me sheet music and I've been like, oh yeah, I can see which key that's in and like I know which sharps are in that. And I was just like, how do I know this? I don't know this stuff.
That's awesome. That's
So
really
it's,
cool.
It's not like instantaneous, but I can
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at it and I know what I'm seeing now, which was, you know, I've been doing music theory on and off for like 15 years. And
Yeah.
it hasn't sunk in before. But you made it sink in, so
Yes.
thank you.
Yay! That like brings me so much joy. I remember learning music theory when I was young, and I had no idea what the hell was going on. But I think I took learning into my own hands. But I had a good year 7 and 8 teacher, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm getting it now.
Yeah.
So, would you like, is there a particular area of interest that I can explore for you this morning?
I'm trying to think. Well, because
Rhythm,
most
chords,
of my I'm terrible at rhythm. One of my students brought in their oral skills stuff, and I could help with the like the pitching for the pitch exercises, for finding the high low, like if they played a chord and like being able to sing the chord in an arpeggio kind of thing. And I could help them with that. But then they were like they had to listen to a rhythm and then clap it back and know and like read it off the page, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I can do the basics, but when it comes to like weird Tim guitar stuff, I'm like, you lost me. So rhythms would be great.
I don't speak
No, me neither.
that language. I kind of make up my own language, to be honest. Maybe we'll look at some reading of rhythms. I've just got I'm Not Afraid open from Songs for a New World, and that's actually got some quite difficult rhythms in it, so it might be a nice little exercise. Now, of course, if there's time, we'll do some rhythmic dictation.
Oh yay! My favorite.
We'll see. If we're feeling frivolous and cheeky. So what's most important is always to analyze what tempo we're at. And in pop music, generally speaking, you're always going to get a pretty clear tempo, which is to say beats per minute, BPM. Yeah. So if you were to count within 1 minute, you would end up with 75 beats, is the kind of old school way of looking at it. The new school way of looking at it is just to get your metronome Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Cool. So then we get this crotchet beat, yeah? Tick, 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 tick. And then we need to subdivide it into quavers. Tick, 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 tick. Or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we can subdivide it into semiquavers. Ticka 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 ticka, or 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So a couple of different ways, but 1 and or 1 and a. It's a really good way of subdividing the beat. So we subdivide the beat so that we know where to place the rhythm. So we've got a grid to place it on. Otherwise, we're kind of doing a bit of guesswork. So the first example, which is cheeky because like the bar looks shorter than it actually is due to formatting. That last dotted minim should take up more space, but it doesn't. So first things first, we need to, and we're kind of skipping past the basics a little bit, so please jump in and ask questions if you're like, what the hell is that? Hello, holy monks. So we got our semi-breve note, which is 4 beats. Happy with that?
Mm-hmm.
Semi-breve, 4 beats. We've got semi-breve in the right hand. Happy days. Already, it's like, okay, cool. I could play that, and you'll get the general gist of the song. Kind of. Ish.
Yeah.
But that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Next bar. Now, what I usually do, rather than kind of like confusing myself with busy rhythm, I actually look at the most simplified rhythm and work my way backwards. So a minim lasts for 2 beats. When we add a dot to a rhythm, we add half of that original beat. So we've already got a 2, and then we add half of that, which is 1, and then we've got a beat that equals 3. Is that all right?
Yeah.
So if it equals 3, and I'm such a visual person, I actually like to sort of visualize that the bar is made up of smaller components. And even then I could like kind of divide that into 4 and 4. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The way that I look at it?
Mm-hmm. I think I do something similar, but not as concise.
Yeah, I mean like, well, whatever works, right? So
yeah.
I mean, this is, I don't think I've ever actively done it, but because I'm such a visual person, it's like, yeah. Albeit like when I was starting playing piano, I was very not good. Like with the rhythm, I was like, you could tell I was just making it up. You just use your ear. But you know, once you actually want to go, okay, well, how do I actually break this down? So I look at the dotted minim, and this is cheeky because visually it's sort of showing something a bit differently, but we can't get too confused. Visually, what I'm actually seeing is this is beat 1, and this is the 3 beats here. So actually, the dotted minim is taking up 2, 3, and 4. It's taking up 3 beats, and it's the last beat of the bar, so I can actually work backward and go 4, 3, 2, you know? That's if I just don't want to overcomplicate things and I actually want to break it down and sort of not get too scared by these semiquaver rhythm. Because there's a lot going on here. There's ledger notes, there's ties, dynamics, there's internal voicings, like whilst one finger holds a note. So there's quite a bit going on. So we sort of try to look to simplify a little bit and just see the notes as they are, which is 4 semiquavers and a dotted minim. Is that cool? Mm-hmm. So the semiquavers, as I said, get 1 iana, yeah, tika tika, tika tika. They have to divide into 4. That doesn't mean the composition will be 4, but in this case we do have 4 semiquavers, which is nice. It means it's going to line up beautifully with our grid. Tika tika tum. But you can use any word that's 4 syllables in nature. So even the word semiquaver works. So you can go semiquaver tum. Yeah, semiquaver 2, 3, 4. Tika tika tum. So basically, sometimes if I felt a bit intimidated, didn't really know how to play it, I would sing it, or I'd sort of get an internal idea of how the rhythm is going. And already I know that I need to hold the low A and I need to hold the E. So I would actually get a feel of like tika tika dum, So that's the first ticka ticka dum. Then I can take it to the next step and actually start to analyze the notes. How do you go with ledger notes?
I usually have to count them to figure them out. I'm getting better at them after last week. But usually
cool.
I'm like, that's C and B, A, G, and I work backwards.
But you understand the logic?
Yeah.
That's good. I had to play a piece yesterday. We had a rehearsal for maybe this time. I had tons of ledger notes, and I was just like, it's too many.
That's not
too many.
fair.
Yeah, it was something in the Natasha's Comet, or that musical. I don't know what the long title.
Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812.
That one. Yeah. The Comet and the Haley's Comet, like the musical. So here I go, all right. Firstly, I need to look at my key signature. I'm in the key of A, so I get the last sharp and I raise it by a semitone. Also, the first lowest note is A. So I'm getting all clues that I'm in A major. It's great. 3 sharps, A major, which is 3 degrees to the right, or 4 degrees to how you look at it in the circle of fifths. So I add 3 sharps and it begins on A major. A major has 3 sharps. Here's my A major. Nice, open, sonorous, beautiful, sunny key, if you will. So I can look here. My middle C is this ledger line here. That's middle C. Okay. I work backwards. I go B. That's a B. Because when I go down the stave, I got to work backwards in the alphabet sequence. And then the C here is a C sharp because of the key signature. This guy is a nuisance. That guy is an A. So we'll just skip it. No.
Okay, ignore him.
Look, good rule of thumb is, the way I approach things is just find the simplest components and then work your way up to the most complex until you're feeling a bit more confident. Then you can sort of tackle the more complex things. But if you get intimidated easily, just find what you can simply. But already we can see it's a B, it's a C sharp, and then 2 ledger notes beneath the stave is an A. Okay. Now, of course, I can go A, G, and then F on the line, and then I've got E. Make sense?
Yeah.
And then I can see that this guy, with a bit of practice, I can understand that that's an A major chord. It's a C sharp, it's an A, and an E. So it's an A major in second inversion. So the lowest scale degree is the 3rd scale degree in the chord. So I know that it's B, C sharp, E, A. B, C sharp, E, A. Most people, when they go to practice something, play something, they just sort of compile everything into one spot and then they get a bit overwhelmed. So all I want to do is just firstly go, okay, do I know the notes? Yeah, B, C sharp, E, A. Cool, no issues. Go back to my rhythm. 2, 3, 4, tika tika tum is going to be the rhythm. Semiquaver, 2, 3, 4. Semiquaver. Yeah, still da. Ting, ting, doogie da. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So of course we have the added extra detail of the ties. And the ties extend the note duration of the first time the note's being played. It doesn't get rearticulated. With a song like this, it can be a little confusing, but the C sharp is tied over, the A is tied over, the E is tied over. So this dotted minim doesn't actually get articulated or rearticulated. Is that cool?
Yeah, I totally would have missed that C sharp though.
Sorry? You know what?
I could see the other two, but the C sharp, I was like,
the C sharp's cheeky. I nearly missed it too. I mean, I always play it tied because that's just how the song goes. It doesn't go like, it doesn't really go like that. But it's cheeky, yeah. So you get a lot of like pop music that has these kind of like chordal flourishes. It's very common to hold some of the chord tones. Chord tones are any relevant note, any common note within the chord itself. The B is not a chord tone. B doesn't exist in the chord of A major. The chord tone is A, C sharp, and E. The B is actually kind of, there's a technical term for it, which I'm going to botch, but it's some sort of suspended or anticipated note that's trying to displace the chord tones. So it's making the composition more interesting by actually using a neighboring chord tone or a neighboring tone in this case. So the B is actually neighboring the C sharp. So it's C sharp's neighbor. Generally speaking, this will be interesting for you because you're a composer. So I use the C word. Yes. Generally speaking, in a very rudimentary, basics of all things, the chord tones exist on the strong beats of a song. That's how we make up the general chord structure of the song. So, if we were to analyze one of your songs, we'd probably notice that the melody that you're singing, the chordal tones, or at least the notes that are in the chord, will be on a strong beat.
Yeah.
And in that case, in pop music, generally speaking, beat 2 and 4 are the stronger beats. But in the grand scheme of things, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 2 and 4 are stronger. 1 and 3 are just slightly softer than 2 and 4. Of course, in classical music or in musical theatre, generally 1 and 3 tend to be stronger. Either way, a crotchet pulse or a crotchet beat will have the chord tone on it. Of course, composers can do whatever the hell they want, So, and we want to continue to make things interesting. So rather than the piece going 1, 2, 3, 4, do you say it? Do de bo da. I put it on the strong beat. 3, 4, do be bo da. It actually goes 3, 4, do be. See? So the B is on the strong beat rather than the B anticipating. So then you get this kind of nice oral experience where you hear the essence of an A major. You hear the essence of an A major sort of after the fact. And you're delayed or sort of thrown off track by hearing that B. Okay? It's not a conscious awareness because our ears are very used to this by now. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then, of course, we have mezzo forte, which is generally speaking a medium dynamic of sorts. Moderate folk. Egg yolk.
Yum.
That's wrong, isn't it? Anyway, is that cool?
Yeah, absolutely.
Any questions?
No questions, but I probably will need a bit of repetition before it fully sinks in. Not that I'm expecting you to keep going over that, but I think I'll have to go back and watch it a couple of times to get every little bit of it.
Yeah, that's cool.
It all logically makes sense though. It's good.
We can sort of spend quite a lot of time just analyzing one bar, which is really cool. And of course, I did say that we'd start with rhythm, but it's I know that you have the brain space and the capacity to sort of take in multiple facets rather than one facet over multiple bars.
I hope so.
I reckon. At least plant the seeds.
I have a very high opinion of my brain.
Absolutely. Totally, yeah. Very clever. Now, sight reading brain goes, okay, spot the difference, So this is what I do in my head, sort of. I've already delved into information. Do you know what I mean? I've already worked it out. I don't have to work it out again. You know what I mean? I got it. I got the information. I'm good. So what that means is that, what is different? What can you tell me that's different?
The C sharp isn't tied over.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Great.
And the left hand's completely different, but yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's very true. Okay, and that's a good compositional thing because sometimes we think that the right hand needs to change because the chords change. But the left hand can move, the bass can move, but the general melodic feature in the right hand or motif does not necessarily need to change, especially if it's diatonic. And this motif is diatonic. There's no flats. Diatonic loosely kind of translates to of the key. So the notes belong to the key. In this context, these notes that are in the motif, the melody, belong to the key. That's in A major. Yeah. If I was to play the melody is not quite diatonic right now.
Yeah.
I'm pulling from other keys. But in this context, it's diatonic. Now, of this little thing, what can you tell me is not diatonic?
Is that the B? Was it the B that was...
The B's? So, the B's cool.
Okay, the B's
The
cool.
B is not a chord tone. It doesn't belong to the chord, but it is diatonic. It actually belongs to the key. It doesn't belong to the chord, but belongs to the key.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Just keep looking.
And there's some little natural accidentals in the left hand. Is that...
Yeah,
am I
nice.
on the right track?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Cool.
Yeah. Do we know what note that is?
Look, bass clef is a little bit slower than my treble clef.
That's right. So we can go...
There's a G? Is that
We
G?
can go with G.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, ledger lines, you lost me here.
That's
I'll
right.
work it back.
So with practice, I mean, I say this with practice, I'm not really sure, but you'll start to learn the shape of an octave. So I guesstimate. I go, well, based on my prior experience and knowledge and my understanding of the repertoire and the musical style and that's going to be a G down the octave. It's based on several bits of information that are coming into play. Firstly, the shape of the note from top to bottom tells me octave.
Yeah.
The fact that there's two natural signs tells me octave. The fact that it's an A over G tells me octave. That it's just going to be a G. That it's rarely going to be something else.
Yeah.
That's not to say don't check it. You got to check it. Because you'll come across times, especially in Sondheim music, that it's actually not an octave. And it looks like an octave, but it's not. And you be lazy and you try to sort of skip ahead or you know, I don't know. And it's not an octave. So in this context, the song is a fairly basic pop folk song. I can safely say that the note underneath that will be just a double of the note above it. But yes, that is the note that is not diatonic. This is what we refer to as a flat 7. Because the 7 in A major is a G sharp. To flatten it is a G natural. In pop, folk, rock, whatever, generally around those genres, to pull from a flat 7 is really common. It's this sound. You can already probably hear the essence of the song. I could try playing in a different key too. You know, you can probably still hear the essence of the song because it's quite a characteristic chordal change. It's not... That's diatonic. It's weird, hey? That's the G natural. So G natural pulling from the A Dorian scale, which we can, you know, don't worry too much about that right now, but which is to say that the scale has a flat 7, which is also to say that it relates to D major, because D major has 2 sharps. That's the scale, and it has 2 sharps. So what we're doing here, we're picking from different scales and keys. We're kind of superimposing them and doing that all fun stuff, right?
That's cool. I don't think I've ever thought about the theoretical side of doing that. I think I've just been like, they've thrown in a random note somewhere.
Yes.
But when you actually think about it, it's related to another key.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And D major being a 5th away from A major. So they play quite nicely together. More importantly, you know, sometimes you'll just do this intuitively, no issues, you know, A to G, that's fine. But sometimes you have to understand the melodic content. So if I'm going, the scale that I'm pulling from is of that D major kind of world, okay? Now, that's how I'm sort of placing it today, but in another way, I could actually refer to it more as a mode or a Mixolydian mode, which we will talk about in future classes. Okay. So already I've got, and of course, as you said, the C sharp's not carried over. C sharp's not carried over because that sound, it's a sharp 4 sound, and it's kind of not what he intended. We don't want that sort of C sharp carrying over. It's too magical. We want more of a sort of a poppy, thin attitude. It's a bit more rock to it. Rather than so, and of course we see that the pinky, generally speaking, would hold the E at the same time in the right hand. And we see the rhythm is babo do be, same thing. Babo do be, semiquaver, semiquaver, you know, so it's babo do be, that holds, okay? So it's really important. Usually what we do when we have a held note, we rush. We go dabo do be, and we hit the next bar, but we got to actually count through. That's why subdividing is really important. So we actually subdivide through the next few beats. And then with a bit more analysis, we can see that the G natural lines up with the saba do be, semiquaver, sa do ba, da do ba. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So in that context, sometimes it's like, you know, it's like this sort of thing. I would actually like, if I was doing a Sondheim piece yesterday, I was just practicing and I had to go to tapping because it was just really annoying rhythm that my brain was just not wanting. So I would go, yeah, I know. It was just, I mean, like Sondheim is Sondheim, but like this one was just like,
it's like super Sondheim.
It was like ultra Sondheim, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I would actually, you know, you can't really see, but I would tap a table or tap my leg, my head, whatever. And I'd go tip-pip-ping, because it's the right hand. I know I'm probably flipped. Ta-ta-ta-tum. And I'd go, okay, my left hand has to play at the same time as the first beat. Ta-ta-ta-tum. Step 1. Ta-ta-ta-tum. Then my left hand has to play again on the fourth beat. Ta-ta-ta-tum. So then I go ta-ta-ta-tum. I'll probably get to a table. Ta-ta-ta-tum. And then I go, maybe I'll do it with just by tapping, but playing with one hand. And then I go to play it. You know, that's a very shorthand way of kind of how I have to approach rhythm when there's sort of difficult syncopation.
I have a question about that bar.
Yeah.
So the minims in that bar on the right hand don't have a dot. They're not dotted.
Yep.
So how does that, because I mean, I'm not sure if I'm reading this incorrectly, but that to me it's missing a beat. Is that right?
Okay, so side note, it's written incorrectly.
Oh, okay.
Because there needs to be an invisible what is it? There needs to be an invisible bar line. We'll talk about this in a different class because it won't make a lot of sense right now. But basically, there needs to be an invisible split between beats 2 and 3. But this minim is actually clouding beats 2 and 3. It's not, you can't see the delineation between 2 and 3. Look, it's not to say it's wrong. It's just that it's not the way that is usually done. But I can see in this context, they're trying to bring more emphasis into the semiquavers that precede the next bar. In this context, we've got beat 1, because crotchet beat lasts for 4 semiquavers, and this quaver lasts for 3 semiquavers, because one quaver dotted and then quaver plus half a quaver. Quaver is an eighth and half quaver is a 16th, so we've got 3 16ths. And then we've got a 16th here, so we've already got 1 beat. We've got 2 beats here with the minim. Yeah. And then we've got 1 whole beat because we've got the 8th and then we've got the 16th and the 16th, which equal 4 16ths.
Yeah.
So there are the right amount of beats here.
What about in the right hand?
The right hand, oh sure, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's wrong.
The minims aren't dotted. So
that's wrong.
Okay, so it's just a typo. All right,
sorry.
I'll stop analysing it then.
No, it's great. It's great. I was going on my high horse, being like, left hand is this. Daniele, answer the fucking question. But I mean, the left hand's a good analysis thing.
But yeah, it actually, I hadn't thought about like that minim being randomly in the middle of it and like just blurring out that, and absolutely that kind of rhythm. One of my students had a similar rhythm, and I was like, I don't know how to tell you what this is.
That's great.
So, yeah.
Feel free to bring them in as well, and we can have a look at it. So because I can see that this is on beat 2, this is on beat 1. Now, oh my gosh, what is happening? That occupies here. Then we've got one more semiquaver. Sorry, it's a bit weird this way. The minim occupies 2 beats, or 8/16 if you like. And then the next 2 that lines up with these 2. And then there's a quaver that's already tied, and a quaver takes up 2/16. So this is tied, that's tied. So that whole thing is tied. It's a really weird way of looking at it, right? I haven't seen anyone do it like this, but whatever.
It makes sense though.
Yeah, it's like just a visually objective way of kind of what beats are occupying what blocks, because you can easily divide it in this case. So we get tapa tu pam, tipa. It's tapa tu pam, tipa. That's what that is. Semiquaver, 2, 3, foyander. That's that last. So then to play, it's like ting, ting, tapo, ting. Tapo, ting. See, I got my own language.
Mm-hmm. I like
and then,
it.
Of course, that's only 2 bars, right? Tapo, it's a difficult piece. So difficult that we got, like all of this. Whilst the left hand's going dum. It's fucking like, and then that's fine.
So what I'm getting from this is, don't ever take this song into an audition.
That's actually yes. I mean, look, it's been around for a while, so all the beautiful thing with Jason Robert Brown stuff is that you should be able to improvise it anyway. But if you get someone who's a bit anal about the notes and not the vibe, a song like this, you will struggle. The beautiful thing is that there are chords in every bar. But to be honest, a lot of singers do underestimate the song and they bring it in. And then you've got something nuts like ting tong tong ting tong ting tong. There's a lot.
It's a lot, yeah.
So what I'd be hesitant with a song like this, I just stop the share, is it overshadowing you. So you got to know your shit, and you got to know it well and be super captivating. Then the piano actually ends up supporting you.
Yeah,
but I was playing
being the showcase.
Right, exactly. And it's hard not to be, because there's so many notes. It's like, well, you have to be on board. You got to jump on the ship. Otherwise, you'll be, I don't know, castrated or something. Is that wrong? That's not the right. That's not the right. That's something completely different, isn't it?
It's very different. It's not ship related at all.
I'm just adding that for my my stream viewers, I'm nuts. Hey, thanks for today.
Oh, thank you.
I'm just sorry, I'm looking at the other screen at the moment.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you. Yeah, shall I well, I'm gonna pop off and then I'll be back for meditation, which love to see you there if you're down to clown.
Yeah, should be able to do that. I've got to be probably leave here about 1:45 1-ish
Yeah.
to
What are you
go
up to?
meet one of my little girls. Well, she's not so little anymore. So you're not streaming anymore, right? It's all.
I'm just fixing that now. So
Okay, cool.
just give me 2 moments.
Yeah, I won't give too much detail away.
Yeah, good. God, it's loud.
Hello, Twitch stream.
Yeah. It's like I'm gonna take this down now. If you're watching on YouTube and Twitch, thank you for watching. Please message me if you have any questions. Email me, join the Discord, send me questions, join the Facebook group. If you'd like to join Zoom in the future, please let me know and I'll send you the link. Otherwise, next class will be on at 11 a.m. I always think it's 10 a.m. for some reason, but it's 11. I don't know where I get 10 from. Anyway, so 11 a.m. Monday and Thursday. Hope to see you there. Bye. Now I just beautifully graced